you know, I would say that 80 to 85% of medical school was not a huge challenge to keep up with training. I think that it helped coming into school with like a good understanding of how I studied and study strategies and stuff to make that aspect of things relatively efficient. But first year was able to train normally. Even second year, when the academic load really ramps up, was still able to train pretty normally. I would say a fraction of third year on the quote unquote easier rotations was able to keep training pretty normally. The low point during that time was my general surgery rotation, which was extremely demanding and difficult to maintain it. Otherwise, yeah, school agree, not terribly disruptive, but residency was, I would say, more disruptive, but still just extremely variable. Our typical schedule would be, you'd spend 4 weeks doing a particular rotation, which could be an inpatient rotation in the hospital, it could be an outpatient rotation, it could be an ICU, some other sort of elective thing. And those all have such variable schedules that on an ICU month, it could be a lot more challenging. But at the same time, I did a lot of ICU months where I did a 28-hour shift every third day. And so there was 28 hours, like Monday at 7 a.m. until, Tuesday at 11 a.m. when I was not able to train because I was in the unit. I'd go home, I'd get some sleep, I'd train, and then I'd have the next day off. I'd train that day, and then I'd go in and do it again. So I was able to even train relatively consistently just during the periods when I wasn't at the hospital during those months. But and then working nights for 2 months or whatever the case is. So it just required a bit of flexibility. But I would say that the surgical, the more demanding rotations as a third year medical student, and then the more demanding schedule-wise, parts of residency were definitely the hardest parts to maintain. At least the type of training schedule that I would otherwise self-select for myself.
Yeah. Now, granted, you and I both had some many things going in our favor with respect to like exercising to the level that we wanted to. One, we both had gyms in our domiciles, especially in medical school, and then you in residency. I actually had to travel to a gym in residency. Also, we knew how to train. Like we're very familiar with how to exercise,
Yep.
right? And it was already part of our lifestyle. So like continuing it, I think is much easier than like starting
Initiating.
it.
Yeah.